I was about to start this video with welcome to another edition of Trade Trees. This is a weird one, and then I realized they're all weird ones. That's why we pick them. And it's about time we took a look at the Calgary Flames, so why not take a look at the Mike Cammalleri trade. Now, you might notice a problem right away. Which one? I want to look at the trade that brought Mike Cammalleri to the Calgary Flames the first time and the ridiculous chain reaction that came with it. A huge theme in this one is the trading of draft picks, which for us is the hardest to track, or at least the most tedious. At least one of the picks in this trade tree was owned by 4 different teams. And ironically, Mike Cammalleri came into the NHL, was drafted into the NHL with a pick that the LA Kings did not originally own. So for, I think, the first time during a trade tree video, we're gonna do a pre-trade tree. For those of you who hate hearing about the Leafs, yes, it does involve the Leafs, but if it makes you feel any better, it's them making a really bad decision. March 13th, 2001, the Toronto Maple Leafs make a trade with the LA Kings in which the Leafs acquire a former 3rd overall pick defenseman. Huge, exactly the sort of guy the Leafs have been looking for forever and are still looking for. And all the Leafs had to give up was Adam Mayer, a depth forward in their lineup at the time, and a 2nd round pick in 2001. Leaf fans, plug your ears, everyone else listen up. The player that the Leafs acquired was Aki Berg. The 2nd round pick they gave to the Kings ended up being Mike Cammalleri. Oh boy, that's another trade tree for another day. I've already kind of spoiled who the winners and losers of it are. Holy smokes. Cammalleri played just under 300 games for the Kings in that little span, scored just under 100 goals and over 200 points. Aki Berg is a name I've spent a great amount of money and time trying to forget. But as is the case most of the time in sports, all good things must come to an end, and Mike Camalleri's time in Los Angeles came to an end. In the 2006-2007 season, Cammalleri scored 34 goals, 46 assists, and 80 points in 81 games for the LA Kings. Fantastic, and the best season of his career at the time. He followed that up with 19 goals, 27 assists, 47 points in just 63 games. Not exactly ideal. After that, the Kings decided to trade him, and you could look at that as the Kings selling low on Mike Cammalleri, and maybe that's the case, but when you score 34 goals and 80 points just one season prior, teams are still going to be kicking tires. And by kicking tires, I mean offering up a pretty decent bounty. In come the Calgary Flames and this trade tree. The Calgary Flames acquire Mike Cammalleri and a 2nd round pick in 2008 from the LA Kings in exchange for a 2nd round pick in 2009 and a 1st round pick in 2008. Now, I'm weird. I know most people are drawn to the biggest parts of that trade. Mike Cammalleri going one way, a 1st round pick going the other. Who was that 1st round pick? I'm about to tell you. But the part that's weird to me, and this happens all the time in trades, they swap 2nd round picks and in different years. Why? For the purpose of what? This trade happened June 20th, 2008. So basically, this trade happened, the Flames get to pick right away at this draft. The Kings get to pick next year. What the Flames acquire is a pick that they know where it's going to land. It's going to be 48th overall. Whoever's available is available, but it's 48th. That's where it is. The 2009 2nd that's going to the Kings, I don't know. You assume the Flames are going to do better than the LA Kings. After all, Camalleri's going from one team to the other, but you have no idea where that pick's gonna land. It's like NHL draft pick gambling. There's always a gamble when you trade a draft pick a year or more ahead of time. You don't know where it's gonna land. But when you swap 2 picks in the same round in different years, it's always confusing to me. Why? Why? For fun? Now, part of the answer here could be the 1st round pick that the Kings acquired. It's weird. At the trade deadline and in the summer, it's only 1st round picks, 2nd round picks, 3rd round picks. You associate the number of the round, not the actual pick. Then you get to draft day and all of a sudden there's the 17th overall pick and the 48th. So why are the Kings and Flames taking this weird gamble with 2nd round picks? Well, so that LA can move up 31 picks in the 2008 draft, which was pretty stacked. And the LA Kings at the time are not very good. They're rebuilding, they're hoping to get as many picks as possible, as high as possible, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves because they also have the 2nd overall pick. First overall, the Tampa Bay Lightning select Steven Stamkos. Second overall, the LA Kings select Drew Doughty. And with their next pick, 17th overall, the LA Kings would go on to select a player who will play the rest of his career as Drew Doughty's defense partner, Jake Gardiner. What? But he never played for the Kings. What's going on here? Okay, wait. I think I get it now. There was another trade at the 2008 draft. Let me try to go through it. The LA Kings traded the 17th overall pick and the 28th overall pick. They got another first kicking around, and they traded it to Anaheim so that they can move up to the 12th overall pick, where they selected Tyler Myers. Ah, yes, Tyler Myers, who went on to have an amazing career with the LA Kings. He played on the second pair behind Drew Wait, that? No. They did another one? So, okay, so the LA Kings took this pick that they got from Anaheim that was 12th overall, and they said to Buffalo, who had the 13th overall pick, hey, would you like the 12th overall pick? And they said, sure. So they took the 12th overall pick in exchange for the 13th and a 3rd rounder in 2009. Okay, I get it. So, with the Mike Camilleri trade, the Kings moved up from 48th to 17th, and then they used the 17th to move up to 12th, and then they used the 12th to move down to 13th, but they also got an extra 3rd out of it. Super easy, guys. And with the 13th overall pick in 2008, the LA Kings selected Colton Teubert. So I remember the 2008 draft, and the narrative around it was, oh my goodness, the embarrassment of riches of defensemen. They're big, they're skilled, they're all going to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. You cannot go wrong. And maybe that's what the LA Kings said before promptly going wrong. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th overall picks that year were all defensemen. Drew Doughty, Zach Bogosian, Alex Pietrangelo, and Luke Schenn. Then there was a bit of a break in picks 12 and 13 were both defensemen. Tyler Myers going 12th to Buffalo. He could have gone to LA, but he didn't. And Colton Teubert 13th to LA. You might notice that none of those names are Erik Karlsson, who the Ottawa Senators selected 15th overall. Oof. As you probably know, Colton Teubert didn't really pan out, but while he still had some value as a prospect, he was flipped to the Edmonton Oilers. And that trade was Colton Teubert, along with a 1st round pick in 2011 that ended up being Oscar Klefbom, and a 3rd round pick in 2012 that ended up being Daniil Zharkov, were traded to the Edmonton Oilers straight up in exchange for Dustin Penner. Yada yada yada. In a roundabout way, the Calgary Flames helped the Edmonton Oilers get Oscar Klefbom. And that trade actually had a much bigger ripple effect around the NHL. I'm not going to get too much into it in this video because I got into it in another video, because this trade is actually connected to the trade that sent Chris Pronger from the Edmonton Oilers to the Anaheim Ducks. If you want to watch that trade tree video, it's right here on this channel, baby. Before I continue, I gotta say, God bless freelance editor Tom, aka Flett. He worked so hard on this, and I had to double and triple and quadruple check it. And you know why? The LA Kings made 8 trades at the 2008 draft. They made 10 in the month of June 2008 alone. They had another 2 in July and another in September just before the 08-09 season started. So in the 2008 offseason, the LA Kings made 13 trades. How fun! And it gets even more fun because I only talked about one of the picks that the Kings got in this deal. We haven't even talked about the 2009 second, which is also fun because that pick was involved in a 3-way deal. Officially, it was 2 separate trades, but it was a 3-way deal. That's how it works. Technically, there was a trade between the Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes, the Oilers acquiring Patrick O'Sullivan and a 2nd round pick, the Hurricanes acquiring Erik Cole and a 5th round pick. After that, the LA Kings traded Patrick O'Sullivan to the Carolina Hurricanes and the 2nd round pick in 2009 that the Calgary Flames gave to the LA Kings in the Mike Camilleri trade. Are you still following? By the way, who did the LA Kings acquire? Justin Williams. Man, that's how you rebuild a team. It doesn't always be you gotta draft a guy and cultivate him and you keep him forever and ever, amen. Sometimes you do a little bit of wheeling and dealing and you get a key part of your franchise. Did the Kings win 2 cups in 3 years without Justin Williams? I'm gonna go with probably not. His name's Mr. Game 7, for crying out loud. Not a bad little career in LA either. 427 games over 7 seasons. I would say that 3-way deal worked out for them. Williams scored 266 points in 427 games for the LA Kings. That's 0.62 points per game. In the playoffs as a member of the Kings, 54 points in just 73 games. That's 0.74 points per game. The guy raised his level. And since I've mentioned the pick enough times, I should probably tell you how it turned out. The 2009 second that the Flames sent to the Kings that they then flipped to the Hurricanes ended up being Brian Dumoulin. Not a bad pick at all. But that's another trade tree for another day. So the Kings were all over the map in how they performed in this trade with Calgary. They could have had Jake Gardiner, they could have had Tyler Myers, they could have had Erik Karlsson. If they had just kept the 28th overall pick in 2008, they could have had Viktor Tikhonov, who was decent. Instead, they get Colton Tubert and they package him and send him to Edmonton with a pick that they could have kept Oscar Klefbom. Instead, they get Dustin Penner, who in his second season as a King, played in 65 games, scored 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points. Do you think the Kings care about that? No, because Penner put up 11 points in 20 playoff games in 2012, helping the Kings win their first ever Stanley Cup. In their 2 cup runs, Justin Williams put up 40 points in just 46 playoff games, including 25 points in 26 games in the 2014 cup run, en route to a Conn Smythe trophy. The deal worked out. If you've ever played the card game President, winning the cup is a joker, and the Kings pulled out 2. Did they win the trade? Well, they won the cup twice, so yes. But they gave up, but they could have had it. They won the cup twice. They did okay. They won.
The Kings are the Kings. Toffoli shoots, breaks a rebound. They score. Alec Martinez gets the goal. The Los Angeles Kings have won the Stanley Cup.
The Flames side of this deal, a lot less exciting. With the 48th overall pick in 2008, the Calgary Flames selected forward from the WHL Spokane Chiefs, Mitch Wall. Unfortunately, he never made it to the NHL, and he split this past season between the Slovak League and Tier 2 German League, which I'm gonna remind 99.9% of the people watching this video, possibly all of you, he's played at a higher level than you. Anyone in the Slovak or Tier 2 German League would probably dust the best player that you've ever gone head-to-head against. Nah, bro, I played against you were 12. But chill. If it makes Calgary Flames fans feel any better, the 53rd overall pick that season, only a few picks later, was Travis Hamonic, and he ended up getting him anyway. And in the 4th round that year, the Flames also got TJ Brody, who's played over 600 games for them. Not bad for a 4th. A bit later in the trade tree, Mitch Wall was traded to the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for Mike Testweed. It ended up being just a minor league deal. Now, the only other asset that the Calgary Flames acquired in this deal was Mike Camilleri. Now, remember how I said winning the cup is the joker? It just automatically means you win. If the Calgary Flames go on to win the 2009 Stanley Cup, there is no question that we view them as the winners of this deal, because Mike Camilleri was spectacular. During the 2008-2009 season with the Calgary Flames, Mike Camilleri put up 39 goals, a career best, and 82 points, a career best, in 81 games. And in the playoffs, in 19 games, he put up 13 goals and 19 points. He was amazing! Wait, no, sorry, that was the next year when he left as a free agent for Montreal. He did really good in Montreal, but yeah, he had 3 points in 6 games with the Flames. And that might cause you to look back on that deal and go, oh, the Mike Camilleri trade was bad. And the reason I don't like that is because with regards to this trade, Mike Camilleri and bad do not belong in the same sentence. He put up 39 goals and 82 points. He was fantastic. The Flames team around him, along with him, were no match for the 2009 Chicago Blackhawks, who beat them in 6 games in the first round. At the time, that might have been looked at as pretty bad. After all, the Chicago Blackhawks had not qualified for the playoffs for 5 straight seasons. Little did we know, though, what those Chicago Blackhawks would go on to become. They made it all the way to the conference final that year, only to lose to Detroit, but the following year, they win the cup, and it would be their first of 3 in 6 years. Is there any shame in that? And then you might say, yes, Steve, there absolutely is. And I go, all right, I'm sorry, I tried to make you feel better. And so, that's it for this trade tree. I'd like to send my personal thanks to the Calgary Flames for making it very simple. And to the LA Kings, enjoy your 2 cups, you bunch of jerks, because this was extremely complicated. Do you have an idea for a trade tree that we can do soon? Leave a comment in the comment box down below and we'll take a look at it. Believe me, we've been looking at all the suggestions and we're trying to spread it out throughout Canada. And for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Man, 3-way deals and trading the pick 19,000 times. Stop it! Just pick.